What has your pet accidentally conditioned you to do? My wife just got out of the cat's chair on our front porch after he strolled up and meowed. Crazy thing is, it's not our cat. Shuffle my feet instead of walking when it's dark so I don't step on my small, black cat. When I come home, my dog comes to the door all excited, wagging her tail, making this woo 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 sound. It's not quite howling, but it's not barking either. I started to woo 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 back to her, because it amused me. But now if I don't, the sound she makes will turn into barking, which is very noisy and unpleasant. So basically she's trained me to have this dumb woo 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 conversation with her, in order to keep her from yelling at me. My mother's dog tells her when it's time for her evening meal. As in my mother's evening meal. The dog knows she eats after my mother, so when she starts to get peckish she goes and bugs her to start cooking. When I go back to visit, we'll be sitting chatting and the dog will sidle in and become a presence in the room for maybe 30 seconds until my mother casually looks at her watch and says, "I suppose we better think about eating." She's completely unaware of what triggers her decision. I have a cat that plays fetch, very insistently. She brings me her toy mouse, and if I don't throw it for her, she sits on my laptop keyboard. Of course this all started when I would throw the mouse to keep her from sitting on my laptop. This wasn't accidental. I have a kitten, about 5 months old. Every morning, I wake up and feeding him is one of the first things I do. In the first couple months, in his little brain, he learned that me waking up equals food. About a month ago, he started waking me up. Looking to expedite the process. Jumping on me, meowing loudly, running across the bed. Whatever gets me out of bed. I usually wake up around 6 a.m. for work. I guess that was too late for breakfast, as over the course of about a week this kitten would wake me up about 15 to 20 minutes earlier every day. This started on a Sunday and it wasn't until Friday that I was woken up and realized it was 4:30 a.m. It was then that I realized I'd been outsmarted by a kitten and I was being conditioned to feed him in the middle of the night. Now if he wakes me up early, he gets locked out of the room until I'm ready to get out of bed. He doesn't wake me up anymore. Run towards the door when they start dry heaving. One of my dogs has several barks, a play bark and a squirrel bark and other dog things that are normal dog barks. He also had what we call his emergency bark. The emergency bark is what he does when he thinks there is serious danger. It is extremely loud and makes us jump every time. He usually reserves it for things like the time I fell down the stairs and he scream barked for my husband to help, or when someone is in our front yard, or when he cornered a possum in the backyard. However, since my husband started working from home this dog barks his emergency bark at my husband if he tries working past 4 p.m. My husband now has learned to stop working at about 3:50 every day to avoid that jarring sound. Sleep on my back or front. I used to be a side sleeper but have an elderly cat who loves her human bed. Everything her little heart desires BC I am an idiot sucker and she knows it. I've shared this before, but I got my dog Snoopy when I was 10 years and ever since he was a puppy he had this weird love for lettuce. He would go absolutely nuts for it, so whenever I had a sandwich or a burger I would give him some of my lettuce. Over the years it became a ritual that whenever I prepared any food for myself that involved lettuce, I would grab some extra lettuce for him, so I could toss it to him as I ate. He passed away 5 years ago after nearly 17 years together, but I still find myself grabbing that bit of extra lettuce for him. It's kind of funny that his little quirk has still stuck with me for all these years and I honestly never wanted to go it away, because it's a little way for me to remember him. Sleep with my legs a cat length apart. She likes to sleep in between them. Before I run in the morning I usually scarf down a banana. Ever since we got my sweet dog, I scarf down about 2/3 of my banana and he gets the last part. It's become our little thing, an unspoken agreement. Calm down when I start to lose my temper or get frustrated. Whenever he hears me sigh or swear, he runs to me, rests his chin on my arm or leg and looks up at me with concern. This has made me so aware of how my energy can impact those around me and I have really gotten my anger under control since he started doing this. He's one of the goodest boys and I am grateful for him every day. A pic of my goodest boy. My girlfriend's older cat makes me pick her up to drink running tap water from her bathroom sink. I also gotta pick her up to get on the dryer to eat, even though she can easily make the jump. When I get up to go to the bathroom I stand in the door and wait for my elderly cat to come in before I close the door. He likes to keep me company. If he doesn't come in right away I'll call for him and if still nothing I'll start walking around the house looking for him. Yell, floor food. Whenever I'm cooking and I drop something. Or go, crunch crunch crunch, when I'm chopping veggies, so my dog knows I have extras for her. My cat sleeps under the blanket snuggled up to me. Even when I'm at a hotel I instinctively raise the blanket a bit so he can crawl in. Change the water in her bowl. It can be all the way to the top and she'll stand there staring at it until I take the bowl, dump it, and refill it with fresh water. My husky does this sneezing thing when she's anxious and I imitate her every time she does it. Usually causes follow-up sneezes. I also know right when she's about to groan when she's anxious/annoyed, and if I make the noise before she does she won't do it. I have 3 cats, so I am as trained as a seal at SeaWorld. Here are just 3. In the evenings, Icy will sleep on the living room furniture. If I get up to get a drink she will stretch and roll over demanding belly rubs. And she wants me to tell her she is a pretty girl. If I don't pet her and tell her that, she will meow at me when I come back. Luna likes to know where I am at all times. So she will call out to me and expect me to answer. I know the meow that means, "Lisa Simpson fan, where the hell are you?" She won't stop until I answer her. Mr. Saucy Pants is a big baby, so he needs lots of reassurance, and I have to leave the bathroom door cracked so he knows he can get to me if he is scared. If it don't, this little paw slides under the door and he cries. The only time I shut the door is if other people are here. The cats run the house. To press on my bladder to wake me up early so they could eat early. Living lots of food by night didn't solve it. I open the tinfoil as quietly as possible. My cat loves tinfoil balls, and whenever he hears it he runs over and looks at it longingly, despite him having at least 24 tinfoil balls already. You can't call him with a treat bag or tin, he only comes for the foil. Check the mail every day. He's so excited to walk to the mailbox with me it reminds me to actually do it. I had fish on top of this cabinet, not sure if that's the right word, so I would always be really careful when closing it so it doesn't disturb them. I haven't had fish or any other pet in 5 years, but I still do it. My cattle dog knows if he coughs on my face in the morning, I will get up and wash it. Then now I guess I am just up. Also, for one cat I leave the toilet seat up so she can pee. Otherwise she will go down the sink and that feels wrong. I seem to have inherited a turtle, a red-eared slider. It was originally the daughter's and she bought it at age 13 with the help of her mum. It came with a tiny tank, I know. Once it arrived home I thought, well, how unfortunate that your new owner is incapable of looking after herself, never mind a pet. She did try, but as expected got bored by this new friend. So I looked for information and found out he may live for 25 to 30 years, at this point it seemed to become my responsibility. 11 years later, daughter has moved out, several tanks later, don't worry, the one now is fine in size, 2 Fluval filters, heaters, bulbs for heating and UVB, custom basking ramps, and the general upkeep and well-being of our not-so-small turtle. It seems that he now 100% mine. I don't mind, to be honest. Anyway, when we are out of sight he will continually swim near the water surface and splash like crazy, all 4 legs breaking the surface and creating a lot of noise. For some time I would hear this noise and run into the room. Upon seeing me he would stop, I walk out, splash time again. I look forward to the next 20 years of doing this, smiley face. Sometimes we take him out the tank, he seems fine, not terrified or skittish but quite happy to explore. I never know if this splashing is him asking, "Hey, come on, get me out of here, I need a change of scenery." Yell her name when she barks. It's just automatic now. When I come home from work I yell out for him, so he can come up to me and I pick him up to give him kisses. My dog likes to sleep under the bed covers. If she wants to get under she will come and nudge me gently, and no matter how asleep I am I lift the covers with my legs so she can get in. Save the last part of everything I eat for him. Leave space next to my pillow for him to cuddle next to. Though often both cats want to sleep there and I have what I call my cat hat to sleep in. To puke in the bathtub when he needs to puke. He pukes from time to time and I put him in the bathtub when he needs to. One day he just got up and went into the bathtub to puke. Proud but sad moment for me. I've somehow become a cat treat dispenser for them. Yay for thumbs, I guess. They both come next to me, keep staring until they get a treat. Or the boy sometimes keeps talking and gives me a massage until he gets his treats. The girl also is all flirty when she wants temptations, until she gets them. Candy digger. Close the bathroom door with a rope just big enough so the cats can fit through. Or he, dog, will eat their poop out the litter box. No one wants or likes doggy kisses with a bit of cat shit sprinkled in between. She will look toward the kitchen and then back at me with a smile. Then she gives a little wag and looks at the kitchen and back at me with that cute smile. She's telling me she wants a treat. I have started leaving the shower curtain open so when I go pee, he jumps into the bathtub and gazes lovingly into my eyes while he pisses down the drain. He started yelling at me and scratching at the shower curtain until I opened it. Now it's our daily bonding ritual. No, his litter box isn't dirty or messy, he just is really weird. I also cannot eat Cheetos or cheese puffs in front of him or he will jump on me and try to get at them. He is a goddamn maniac for cheese. He will try and steal the bag. Incidentally, my story from the reverse of this question still applies. We've conditioned him to dramatically flop onto his side for pets, and he's conditioned us to give him attention when he flops because it's so damn cute. We tried to encourage our cat to not wander around crying for attention, so I started Gong to pet him every time he quietly laid down. It worked to a certain point, but now his method of demanding attention is to dramatically throw himself onto his side with a huff and stare at us. Fortunately for him, it's very cute, so it still works in getting him attention. Cat tax for photographic evidence. My parents' cat prefers to drink water directly from the tap before. Every night before bed he'll hop onto their sink and meow until someone turns on the tap for him, then when he's done he'll meow again until someone turns off the tap and carries him to bed. In the mornings my GSD will not, at all, go outside to do his business until I give him his joint vitamin. He's gone through the doggy door and turned right back inside a few times. Panic when the door opens. My dogs are runners. She's a tracker. So whenever she needs something she'll just walk me to it. So now whenever she looks at me, and paws at my foot, I just follow her. It's just a reflex at this point. Not snapping my fingers, because he hates it apparently. There must always be a space for my cat whenever I sit down on the couch so she can cuddle up next to me. Any obstacle will be knocked and or scratched out the way so she can take her place at my side. Leave pillows laying next to the tile. He likes to lay on the tile, because it cools him down, but he doesn't like his head to touch the floor. Lift the covers in my sleep so he can crawl in. He aggressively headbutts until he gets his way, so now I just do it to avoid a mean bonk to the face with a hard furry skull in the night. Our dog that we got a few months ago hates to pee inside his little sleep cage, which is in my parents' room. So every night at 2 a.m. my parents wake up automatically to let him pee, pull him up to their bed, and go back to sleep. I think they still wake up even if he isn't whining at this point. My cat Kevin loves to drink water out of the sink, so every morning when I get up I fill up the bathroom sink with an inch or two of water. He also loves to bat things into the sink, so I grab a couple of Q-tips and set them next to the edge so he has something to scooch in there. Whenever my cat does something bad I hiss at her, not aggressively, just enough so she'll understand not to scratch the couch, jump on the table, etc., since she doesn't understand the concept of no. We got a kitten about a month ago, so I've started to need to discipline him more often. Anyway, my friend was annoying me the other day and out of pure habit I hissed at him. The people around me just turned in my direction and I felt like a psychopath. LMAO. Walk out the front door backwards while simultaneously closing it. We got one cat that tries to escape, while the other two are fine with their large 100 square meters backyard with a net all over it. I must leave the door to the toilet open for my dog. He follows my every step. Was a bit awkward in the beginning but got used to it. I've read here it's to protect me, so that's even better. He's the best boy. He also guards me when I shower. Unconditionally love them. Sleep with my hand off the edge of the bed cause my dog will come boop my hand when he's ready to go out in the morning. Every time I stop petting my dog, she reaches out and taps me with her paw, sometimes quite insistently. Of course, who can resist that? I keep petting her every time. I automatically wake up when my dog starts clopping down the stairs to go outside to pee. Doesn't matter what time in the night. Usually 2 or 3 a.m. I never get a fulfilling sleep because of this. I will stay in bed an extra hour or so every morning, doing work on my phone, purely so Gypsy can get in some prime snuggles. When my alarm goes off, Gypsy comes running in and announces her pleasure of having an awake human to give her pets. We spend 10 minutes doling out lovies before she finds a spot to snuggle against me. Then I stay here. Don't move. Don't disturb the kitty. She always looks disappointed on the days she doesn't hear my alarm and I meet her in the living room instead. Cat tax, snuggling this very moment. Snap at other people and animals to get their attention. I lost my best friend Moby a couple months ago. He was 14. He had a heart condition toward the end and one of the symptoms was coughing fits after drinking water. They were awful and had even caused him to pass out a handful of times. I've recently rescued a young, healthy dog, but whenever I hear him drinking water a surge of sudden panic comes over me and I brace for something bad to happen. I miss you, Mo. So when my cat was just a kitten, I thought it'd be a good idea to pet her while she eats, as many animals get skittish when there's people nearby while they're eating. Worked well, except for now she just bitches at me to pet her whenever she eats. She'll eat without me petting her, but she'll be vocally upset about it. 3 bits of toast is the perfect number for me. My little Westie absolutely loves buttered toast, so I always do 4 and give him the extra. I don't live with him anymore, I've moved out, but I still do 4 bits. First thing in the morning she has to smell my breath. She's like a little hairy gremlin magnet coming to inspect. Not sure who she reports to, but I don't resist. I talk back to my dog when he talks to me. To be clear, I have a German Shepherd, and for those of you who have never owned one, they really like to talk, and mine talks a lot. When he talks, it's not really a bark or a whine but a sound in between those two noises, and I've learned to replicate that sound to have a conversation with my doggo in doggo language. My cat has 3 legs so he can't bury his poop. I now follow him out when he poops to cover it for him, or he gets very anxious. I'm not sure exactly when this started, but I'm officially a shit shoveler. Every morning, I wake up and immediately take my dog for a walk. I have had this routine for a few years now, but didn't realize how integral this process was for me until I had a weekend where my parents took him for a few days of adventure, and I realized that without going for my morning walk, my body would not let me take a morning dump. I have found through studies with my Fitbit that it takes about 1,000 steps before my body accepts that I am good to go in the morning. Now, on mornings where someone else walks my dog or it's too rainy to walk, I still have to walk for a bit on the treadmill just to loosen things up, or else I'm very uncomfortable for the whole day until I've hit my magic step requirement. Hide under a duvet within seconds of waking because I can already anticipate when my cat will come and insist I get up. When I'm trying to prove my point to my partner but he doesn't get it, so instead I say something like, "OMG, you are such an idiot, right, pet's name?" Did that several times when we went on vacation and the cat was back home. And NBSP. We also still leave the bathroom door ajar when we're using it during vacations. A lot of times I close the front door when my dog is outside, but then my cat will meow loudly to let my dog in and so that he can look out the door. Every morning after she eats her breakfast, she has to go on a car ride. She will cry and howl by the door until I have fulfilled her wish of her morning car ride. Some mornings she poops after breakfast and then proceeds to take her stance at the car waiting on me like I'm some shit boyfriend who doesn't open the car door for her. When my cat wanted to get in the house, she climbed on the roof, got inside through a small crack and made a poof sound as she fell on the floor from the roof. Then she usually started meowing so that I can open the door and let her in. I once heard a poof sound like that even though I moved into an apartment, and I instantly went to open the front door, sad face. Lots of things. Baby steps when walking anywhere in my house to avoid stepping on a tail, or a stopped cat, waking up to a single claw prod letting me know it's time for breakfast. That part alternately charms me and annoys me. She knows the claws hurt me, so she chooses to only use a poke with one claw to wake me up, but I get the full paw full of claws the rest of the day to communicate happiness or displeasure, having to wait in the kitchen for her to eat her meal at dinner time. She won't do it unless I'm there supervising. Religiously throw away all plastic grocery bags in a covered trash can, and ensure all other plastic bags are in closed closets. My cat loves to shred plastic bags, and I can't stand the sound of it and hate cleaning up the mess. Anything that comes in a bag has to be in a closet or pantry because he can open cabinet doors. Not yell at the computer. She was sensitive, and even from the other room, she would come to me and nudge me with her nose. After a while I caught on and stopped yelling. My dog is no longer with me, and I yell at the computer much less, but occasionally forget a wear clause and then swear since. Leave my bedroom door open because he likes to check on me in the night and likes to climb into bed with me in the morning. Lift up my blanket so she can burrow underneath with me. My cat does little taps on my arm when I let her in. Also leave my door open at all times. She hates it when I close and scratches and meows like crazy. I'm her human so she has to be with me at all times. At 4 a.m. old age kicks in and I have to go pee. We got a dog about a year ago and when I get up she has to go and needs to pee. I always would let her out first then go do my business. After a while I was like hell it's my backyard. So I just pee in the flower bed while she did her business. Now it's nightly. 4 a.m. we both get up go to the backyard and pee together. Always look to see where she is, even though I know where she is. I just want to see her face whenever I walk past the door. To rub him roughly, so that he will lick my arm at the same time. To say some iteration of, "Oh, that's such a big stretch," every time one of my cats stretches regardless of measurable stretchiness. I used to like sitting down on the floor with my legs out. My dog, Rocky, despite being 65 pounds and not the size of a lap dog, insists that he is. Now I sit down crisscrossed so he can come into my lap and get pets and cuddles. Whenever we come back home, our family dog always runs up to us, sits up with his front paws up and makes us give him a forehead-to-forehead hug. One of the things I look forward to whenever I go visit my parents. Make kissing noises at things. I used just to do it to get my cat's attention, now I accidentally do it at everything I want. Sometimes that can include people.